just started the live stream. Gonna get things all set up here. And let's see about the live chat. Let's see if we got any chat coming in. Welcome to live chat. All right, so if anyone's joining me out there, give the video a thumbs up. Let's see the likes and who's out there watching the video live on my live stream. Thursday, 10 p.m., February 21st. I'm going to set this up best I can and do a quick video update first, get that out of the way, and talk about some movies and movie news. You guys seen any of those trailers out there? Got the Motley Crue movie trailer that is going to be on Netflix only. All right, that's a little bit better set up. Tell me to rotate the device. Might as well listen to it. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, folks, but I think we're settled on that. We got Mission Impossible Fallout trailer or poster back there, pardon me. And just enjoying the evening here. Figure I'll go until I, run low on battery. Go grab the charger if I feel so inspired. But got a couple hours here before I have to go to sleep. Figured I would do a live stream. And anyone out there can jump in on the chat, see if anyone's out there. Well, hopefully I'll start building a little bit more of a following on here. But anyway, yeah. Does anyone know about if there's a good Mission Impossible Fallout DVD or Blu-ray that has special features yet? Because as of yet, I've looked and I can only find the one that's like either $10 or $20, depending on where you're at, and it's just the bare bones. So I'd be interested to see if anyone watches this video later and they know that particular information. That would be great. I do believe Mission Impossible is nominated for Best Visual Effects. I hope that wins. I know it won Best Action Movie at the Critics' Choice Awards. So if they ever do, change these Oscar categories one day, it would be great to see Mission Impossible win more than a technical Oscar, because I feel that this film was deserving of something. Not necessarily a full Oscar or anything like that, but man, the parts of the movie that worked were better than almost any cinematic experience one could have. I wanted to see it again on the big screen, but it went kind of quick. Even though it was a hit, it's kind of a weird deal. I expected it to be playing in theaters till the fall, but yeah, by October, I think it was all gone, obviously. So, might as well do a DVD and Blu-ray update here. I don't think I got any Blu-rays. These don't really look like my favorite actors there, John Leguizamo. It doesn't look like him. So I got a bare bones version of, you guessed it, Super Mario Brothers. There's a lot of times I'd seen this movie on cable growing up and things. Because even though I was 12 when it came out, I didn't see it. It was the week before Jurassic Park. There's one movie that actually came out that weekend, May of '93, Memorial Day. I'll post it down in the description maybe if I think of it. But anyway, I mean, I don't want to be too long-winded about this. I absolutely love this movie now, and when I watch it, I just feel that it's like, Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. Like, I'd love to see the movie. First of all, the documentary about the making of this, I'm sure that that's out there, but like the movie about the making of this, because it's totally tripped out, and it's totally takes very strange interpretation of the events of the video game, and puts it into a different world, obviously. But like, yeah, I could see people not being happy with the movie because it's you're not jumping on top of mushrooms and you're not collecting gold coins and you're not going down little plumbing holes into other worlds. But what you are doing is some very strange stuff in this movie. So I'm looking forward to watching this. I believe I got it for $5 on Amazon. Now, all these things I'm going to show you right now, you're damn right I'm making an update video about because I've been sweating on them for 4 days. I actually, man, they've been occupying my dreams, occupying my sleep. I'm like, damn, I want these DVDs. I want them to arrive. Like, I'll go over them, and yeah, they're cool DVDs, right? They're things I've never owned, which is exactly what you get. You know, you want to buy things that you've never owned. When I'm buying DVDs, that's what I'm looking for. So I've never owned Super Mario Brothers. Never been have the ability just to put it on any time of the day. You know, obviously maybe I've recorded it on my hard drive before on my DVR, but that's not really having the movie. I'm sure we can all relate to. You know, it's tenuous. It can get deleted within 2, 3 weeks, months even. Buckle up and hang on tight. You know, I don't even read the description of the movie. Um, um, it's hard to really put into words why I like this movie because there's every element of it that where it's a failure. But I think I like Max Headroom and the whole concept, and that they were behind that. And they have this very different interpretation of the world and this very dark character that Dennis Hopper plays in this Hopkins. Yeah, that guy. Dennis Hopkins. Yeah, Dennis Hopper. A very different character for him in that film, and I really much appreciate that. Dark character. I like when they something that always sticks with me, kind of like about the power of the TV or infantilizing people or whatever, is that one part where they get the free thinking individual. I forget even who it is, just someone that thinks for themselves, and he does whatever he does to them. And at the end of it, they're all like just talking like everyone else, like Koopa 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 Koopa, or like or dumb words they're using in it. Pretty powerful stuff. I forget exactly what he does, and some power or some machine he hooks people up to, and then they come out being basically really harded out and stuff. So pretty powerful little situation with that movie. Yeah, I mean another movie that didn't work, primarily aimed at children, but 10 years earlier or so, Return to Oz. It didn't work, I guess, financially, but I don't know too many critics or people that just would say this movie doesn't work. Return to Oz. If you haven't seen this, you need to see this movie. It's quite a good movie. Has a special feature by Fairuza Balk, Returning to Oz. Every time I'm planning to go to a convention, I see her on there sometimes. I just got to find a convention. I'd love to meet Fairuza Balk. She was quite the character in this film. Goes on to be in an independent film, Gas Food Lodging by Allison Onders. And welcome to live chat. Yeah, we got my guy Narek Chase here. Yeah, Narek Chase. Okay, so I won't write back. But is that the sequel to The Wizard of Oz? Because I've watched part of it once. Yes, this is a sequel. I don't really know. I guess she gets back to Kansas, and when she gets back to Kansas, she starts having headaches and stuff, and they bring in some doctor with some big machine, and that I believe that machine starts messing with her, and then she meets this dude. Because I like that they have new variations on the characters. You know, I mean, are they the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and Lion? No, but they're different. This little chap right here, I was fond as a kid. There's this one part where they go in this room, and there's all these different heads cut off on the walls or whatever, or in these little glass cages. So you ain't gonna find that in the Wizard of Oz. You're gonna find the flying monkeys. You're gonna find all sorts of other stuff, but you're not gonna find a room with all these different heads cut off. I find that to be I mean, I can't believe this is actually aimed at children when you look back on it. You got a great actor, Nicole Williamson. Can't really think of what I've seen him in before. Nicole Williamson. believe he's in the Excalibur film, and I believe he's in one of my favorite movies, Black Widow. I'm not positive. I know he had a very bad drinking problem, and that he was, I believe, in an Oliver Reed movie once, and they had to stop the making of it because they all just some issue happened. It may have been that he was cast in a movie called The Ninth Configuration that William Peter Blatty, the writer of Exorcist, wrote, and that was they were in some really heavy over drinking and stuff. So Paul Maslansky produced this. I've interviewed Paul Maslansky. I should post all of them on here. That's 4 or 5 hours of me talking about the Police Academy movies with him. So I mean, what a ballsy thing for him to do. He calls the guy from Star Wars up. He's told me the story. Called the guy up from Star Wars, Gary Kurtz, and said, "Hey, why don't we go after and get the rights to Wizard of Oz?" And it takes them from like 1973 till I believe the mid 80s when they make this to get them. And in that time, he'd gone over to Europe, Russia, made movies over there. First producer out there. So I think we got Narek Chase out there watching. I'm really happy. I was a guest on Narek's video a couple weeks ago. We were talking about who we would like to see in some of the Kroll characters. Now he's asking me, Narek's out there in the chat. He's asking me, did I see the Oz Great and Powerful? I think that's one Sam Raimi made a couple years ago. Yeah, I saw that. I made a whole evening of it, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I went out to dinner first, and then I went and saw it at a famous theater in Los Angeles, the Vista Theater, I believe. And it was great. They had the whole thing kind of with different things from the movie in it. And I didn't like it as much as this. I actually like this one quite a lot. I actually get kind of scared of Wizard of Oz, the original one in different parts, but this I find it just to be a kind of more of a horror fantasy for children. So anyway, that's this one, and that's Super Mario Brothers. Oh, Narek, have you seen Super Mario Brothers? Obviously, it's nothing like the game, but do you enjoy it or know anything about the making of it at all? Or anyone else out there? I find that to be quite a good, quite an interesting movie. I mean, I obviously didn't like it the first couple times I saw it, but as I stopped playing the game as much and just kind of had memories of the game and thought about kind of the larger issues or the themes of the game, I feel that it thematically has, a lot in line with it. Oh yeah, that's cool. Narek's gonna maybe do a video on Bob Hoskins' performance as Mario. Yeah, when you think about it, I would like to see who could do it now. Paul Giamatti. God bless Bob Hoskins. He's not alive, but if he was alive, he'd be almost 80. I wouldn't mind seeing him redo it. But you just get if anyone kind of a fat suit or anything, I guess they could do it too. But Paul Giamatti is already, I guess, that size. I'd like to see Philip Seymour Hoffman do it, but obviously he's dead for 4 or 5 years. It'd be kind of hard to get him in proper shape for that. But I won't put anything past him now. Robin Williams has passed. I used to think that he'd be quite a good Mario back in the day, like before they even made the Mario. Oh yeah, Paul Giamatti is a great actor. I think I don't see all of his movies too much. He's in this one with the lady from Step Brothers, like that creepy lady from Step Brothers, where they're trying to adopt a child. I don't know the name of it, but it's an independent movie that came out this year. Seems like after he had that whole Spider-Man movie not do as good, that he kind of stopped making as many movies. And I know he had that TV show on Showtime. I didn't really enjoy it too much. Yeah, that's cool. He watched that one. That's great. Paul Giamatti is a great actor, though. Yeah, a great movie with him, of course, is Sideways, one of the best acting. But he didn't get nominated for Best Actor for that. It's crazy. I got this one, Insidious. I'm kind of interested in the path of how James Wan has gotten to where he is. Obviously, I've seen some of his early movies, and this is one of his early ones. I haven't seen all of them, obviously. And I'm a fan of Patrick Wilson. who, when I watched the Aquaman again, watched maybe three quarters of it again. I really liked Patrick Wilson's performance. I think maybe the first time I didn't like his performance as much, but Rose Byrne, and then the guy that runs New Line, his wife's in this, Lynn Shay. She's been in a bunch of movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, etc. Lee Wanell, who's the writer of this, also wrote Saw. He's now making the new Invisible Man movies, the new Invisible Man Universal movies. And he's also going to be, I don't think this is really going to happen, but he's going to remake Escape from New York. And there's talk that, Kurt Russell would resume his role, or perhaps Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, who has appeared in Overlord. He was in a Dazed and Confused sequel movie. Yeah, he likes Insidious. Wyatt Russell was in this Dazed and Confused sequel called Everybody Wants Some. So anyway, Kurt Russell's son with Goldie Hawn. I'm glad you liked Insidious. I'm thinking I might put that on a little while from now. Don't know when. Hopefully, maybe tonight. This has onset with Insidious. So anything that has a special feature, I usually purchase. And this has something called Horror 101, an exclusive seminar. Not as interested in that. Oh, Barbara Hershey's in this. So I know there's a big convention in February every year. Let me read this. I'm hoping they either reboot or continue Escape from New York, similar to what they did with Mad Max Fury Road. Well, that's interesting. That would be pretty cool. It has less of a built-in box office for it, but you get John Carpenter to sign off on it, similar to how he did to Halloween, get him to bring back some elements of the movie or the score, get his son to be involved to do the music, and you get the right person, and that Kurt Russell's involved in some way. That would be quite incredible. Yeah, this Insidious, definitely got to check it out. Wow, Jason Blum, this is one of his first ones that they produced. So, who I know you made an Invisible Man casting choice video. I remember watching that, I think, in the past. I'm trying to remember who are some of the people, and out there in the chat, anyone else as well, that who are some people that you think that you'd like to see for the Invisible Man part? I know I've gone off on video. I don't know if it's on my new channel though. I go grab the Memoirs of an Invisible Man DVD real quick and explain why I like that. Hold on one moment now. Yeah, because it goes from. I might as well just get my charger. Well, my dog's being quiet, so now she's coming in here. Might have to set my phone up a little bit different here to get my charger in here. No, whoops. All right, so I missed the live chat. I'm hoping they make a reboot similar to what they did the Max Matthews that. Okay. So we're talking about the Invisible Man. Might as well go over. This is fun. I'm doing a live stream. Whatever comes up with my mind. I got all the DVDs here. This is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Now, Narek's talking about he'd love to see. Let's see if I can get this perfect. He'd love to see Escape from New York kind of rebooted. I agree with that. I'd like to see a good Invisible Man movie made, but this one is. And this has very good special features on it. Pardon me. Outtakes I don't really think are necessary there, but something called How to Become Invisible, about the featurette. So if you don't know what this movie is, Chevy Chase went through a lot to make this. He helped write it at one point. He helped produce it. He recruited to get John Carpenter on board. Went through a lot to make this, but things in his eyes to, block out the color of his eyes. So when they dig into this invisible stuff, so I don't know. He's in disarray in recent years, but I hope to God that people can appreciate this movie and that the future Invisible Man movies can have some element because this is just some regular guy. He's not a scientist. That's why I find that to be such an interesting movie. He's just some stockbroker type guy, and he gets lost. Oh! Gosh, I wouldn't mind seeing Hugo Weaving take the role, rather him than Johnny Depp. Yeah, well, Johnny Depp with his current, yeah, just let's just say he didn't have his off set problems that everyone kind of knows about and stuff now. I just hope I feel he could probably pass away due to his different issues he's got going on lately. But if he didn't got uh all that going on, his movies haven't gone as well. And I didn't see all of Fantastic Beasts too, but I really didn't enjoy his performance. And that's just me. But yeah, if I'd like to see similar to how I wouldn't mind seeing a comic actor come into the role and doing it. So Hugo Weaving's never really been a comic actor. So I mean, Hugo Weaving's good though. That's a good choice. Um, shit. I think a comedian, if you do it right, will be good. A good dog would be important. Oh, you're so cute. Who you want to see? Who you want to see play in the role of Invisible Man? Where you kind of see the guy, you don't see him. Let's think. What were we watching? You know who would be perfect, but it's so sad he's dead. Anthony Perkins. Watching him last night in Psycho 2. Just all his movies. I got 4 or 5 of them. One called Pretty Poison. Man, he's just a tremendously good actor. So, all right. Thanks everyone out there in the chat. I don't know if I can. Some messages. I can't type back, I guess. That's cool. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Anyway, that was Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Daryl Hannah was very good in it. Aw. You on camera. Everyone like you. Hopefully the people out there like us. We don't really care either way, though, do we? No. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me just grab a stack of DVDs here. Okay, what I got next? Oh, got Magnificent Seven. I don't know anything much about this movie except that it was made. I knew something about the casting of it. I even reported some of the movie news involved in it. And once it got made, I don't know anyone that saw it. And I don't know anything about it except, I do know my mom and some friends of hers saw it. But I don't know much beyond that. And it's Antoine Fuqua. I find that he gives good commentary or special features. So it's got 4 special features. Probably 20. I'm hoping for 15 minutes of extra content. Oh, jeez. So let's see if they list the cast. It's Byung Hyun Lee. That's right. Peter Sarsgaard, Vincent D'Onofrio, and then the 3 leads being that only adds up to 6. So they're not listing who some of the 7 are, but I think there is a native cast in it. Anyway, cool performances. I had got great action, but I wish they had focused more on the characters. Wow, man, this is so cool. Mr. Chase out there watching. I do remember the first one. It had this German actor that I was real fond of. My grandfather, my dead grandfather, I guess, had a fondness for this particular actor, Horst Buchholz. I think that's his name. Horst Buchholz, something like that. He was in a lot of good movies, actually. He was in one about Coca-Cola. Back in the day, there was a movie about Coca-Cola, about how they're marketing Coca-Cola in different areas. I got to figure out, maybe I'll post that in the description if I think of it, or in the comments. Man, it was a heck of a comedy. Really a funny movie about how they're going to market Coca-Cola in Russia. It came out in the 1960s, so it's a pretty old movie. But anyway, Horace Buckles from the Magnificent Seven, he did good in that one. Um, so the next two I got, I mean, so you imagine, those Force Four. I've been wanting to see those movies or own them for a while. I've only seen Super Mario Brothers a handful of times. Only seen Return to Oz that one time straight through when I was 4 years old with my uh, grandmother. Um, Magnificent Seven, obviously, I'd wanted to see but never saw. Uh, Insidious, I didn't want to see, but then I'm excited to see how James Wan got to this point where he's at. Where I really enjoyed Aquaman. I mean, obviously, I went back and saw it again. I don't usually do that too much, especially on movies long as heck. I didn't see the whole thing, but that's just because some other stuff came up. I'd seen enough of it. Now these next ones I've seen a bunch of times. I got the Lethal Weapon collection here. Now I plan on watching some of that Lethal Weapon show because I liked the first episode, and I've gotten to know the guy that got fired from it, so I want to see how it's coming off in the new this and that. But I know they killed off the Riggs character in the TV show. Now, I don't really care anything about any of this because I'm just gonna enjoy the TV show, this movie series, as it is. I've probably seen Lethal Weapon conservatively 20 times. I've seen Lethal Weapon 2 30, 40 times. Lethal Weapon 3. Um, Lethal Weapon 3. I've seen less, maybe about 10 times. And Lethal Weapon 4, I think I've only seen 2 or 3 times. I don't understand how people are so negative to it to the point that they act like it's not even part of the series. They say that it should have just stopped after 3. Obviously, it's the worst of the 4, but I didn't find it to be that bad. I actually went to the premiere of it, in 1998. Snuck into the premiere of that at the Man Chinese Theater. I don't think it was a horrible movie. I just don't think it was the best of the series. Now, Nerek's out there, and Nerek said something about the Lethal Weapon movie. Let's see the top chat. Top chat, all messages are visible. Um, they're an awesome, but he hasn't seen the series yet. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, the series of. See, made 6 or 7 TV show episodes of it, and I know a lot of the backstory of it about this Damon Wayans and the other guy uh, squabbling while making the show. I find it to be sad that that would happen because obviously Danny Glover and Mel Gibson couldn't be further from friends. I mean, I don't think they talk in real life, but they had such great chemistry in those movies, whether they liked each other or not. And it just sounds like this Damon Wayans wanted to have Sean William Scott on the whole time, didn't want to do all the stunts, and then Sean, the guy. I mean, I only know the other guy's side of the story as much. Damon Wayans hasn't come out and said much, but he had, I think, threatened to sue them. He wanted to do his own TV show or something again, like in his own sitcom. And then they're like, "Hey, why don't you do Lethal Weapon?" And then he was like under contract for them. But yeah, yeah. See, I remember Jet Li being an awesome bad guy in it too, and it kind of saving it the movie. They should have made a Lethal Weapon 5. Obviously, after Mel Gibson's situations, that won't ever really happen. I mean, because like think about it, Mr. Chase. It's like they made Mad Max, and they didn't throw Mel Gibson in Mad Max, and they rebooted it, without him. They ain't ever gonna put Mel Gibson back in a big franchise again. That's pretty much. I mean, the Daddy's Home 2 is about as big as it's gonna get for Mr. Mel Gibson, and I feel that that's in some ways just, but in some ways unjust. I don't know. Sometimes when you think about this stuff going on about how some people like basically get sacrificed to the wolves and some don't. Oh, geez, who's one example? Louis C.K. You're never gonna hear about him no more because I don't really know why. I guess because he's less attractive than some of these other people that did the same things that he's done. I don't get it. I'm starting to lose. And then you got the guy that's the agent of Adam Sandler. He's done some crazy stuff, and no one seems to care. He's still working at some big agency. So it's craziness. But Mel Gibson, always probably rubbed people the wrong way for his views and stuff. And seems like after he made Passion of the Christ, they were going after him pretty hardcore. So he got himself in trouble, and that's the story. But he's still a good director. I've heard that one called Hacksaw Ridge is good. Have you seen that one? It was Mr. Chase. Have you seen that one? It was in 2 or 3 years ago. It had the guy from Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man in it, and it was called Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, he has directed something. Uh, it's messed up because the guy has bounced back somewhat. Yeah, he's made some great movies. I haven't seen that one either. Hacksaw Ridge. You know the crazy thing is I know some of the accusers to the Louis C.K. Yeah, there you go, Andrew Garfield. I know some of the accusers of the Louis C.K. and I don't really find them to be credible people in other walks of life. So, two of the four of them I find to be like uncredible or not credible, you know? So, yeah, from like pretty, spot on experiences with them. So, when I was reading the stories about these women coming forward about them, I'm like, Abby, I might shouldn't even say their names, but blah, 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 that's her? She's accusing him of this? It's like, what would. I'm not gonna take up for him because it sounded pretty weird, but he was a cool guy. I've met him before a couple times. So, who other people? Stallone had that thing come out that he maybe did something to some chick during Over the Top back in the day. But it's like, yeah, it rubbed right off of Stallone. No one cares. Stallone can keep going and doing Stallone's thing. Um, yeah, I think it's even more interesting. Yeah, it's definitely for rich men. It's for rich, unattractive men. Someone that's rich, unattractive, and unpopular gets run over by this. They tried to do it to James Franco, and it didn't really stick with him because I guess he's attractive or enough, or to the point where he's connected enough still. But if he had done this 20 years from now, James Franco, then it would have been like, oh yeah, like how James Woods got treated. It's really weird. I don't know. Making this video about my videos and stuff, so but that's why I brought it up though, because I got this 4 movie collection. Obviously, the front 2 movies are great, and what would it be if they made a 5th one that let's just say was as good as 3, like in the middle between 3 and 4? What do you think about the Miss Curly Sue? Would you like to see a Lethal Weapon 5 that's not as good as Lethal Weapon 1 or 2, but like slightly below Lethal Weapon 3 and slightly above Lethal Weapon 4, I would sign my name for that. But anyway, we're just going off about stuff that's never going to happen because what they will do is probably reboot the Lethal Weapon movies in like 15 or 20 years once the memory of this TV show is faded. That is something that I could see happening. And that I won't really be opposed to. Like a clean reboot with like whoever is a hot actor 12 years from now and like Michael B. Jordan at the end of his run. I could see that happening where Michael B. Jordan takes over as Riggs in like 20 years. And you get, like Chris Hemsworth's son or cousin to play Martin Riggs. I don't know. I could see that happening. Anyway, so that's the Lethal Weapon movies. I got the quote unquote director's cut of each movie. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad, and I should have looked into it, but I just assumed it came with some special features in addition to that. Obviously, we got the great score by Michael Kamen, one of the better composers in or around the film. So that would be a fun video to do. What are some of our favorite composers in film? Obviously, John Williams. That guy, last name Hurwitz, I believe. Uh, Howard Shore. The guy I just mentioned right now, Michael Kamen. Uh, People that are less active now or dead, such as Basil Polidorus. I'm not sure if he's dead or just less active. Um, I'm pretty sure he may have passed. James Horner, who we all know has passed in a plane crash, maybe 5 years ago now, 4 years ago. But he was very prolific, maybe basically like second in terms of, yeah, Steve Jablonsky. Um, You know what's so weird though? I can't think of a single woman that does composing. That is very you don't even hear them complain. Usually they say, "Oh yeah, we need more women cinematographers. We need more women editors. We need more women directors. We need more women roles. We need more women this. We need that." You never hear one about a woman. Oh, we need this because it's like I don't know. Same with like opera composers or the people that lead orchestras. They're usually men. I don't know what's up with that. Well, John Barry, I believe, is another one. John Barry, John Williams, John Ottman, great job. John Barry, I believe, does the one for this. Now, I really enjoyed the Creed movies. I saw Creed the day before I saw Creed 2. I decided to rent Creed and watch it. So I watched it once and then I watched it again. And Brian May, I gotta look that guy up. See, sometimes I can't pop with the credits. I know their names. Brian May, Brian May. Well, I'll look it up what he did. So yeah, I saw Creed and then Creed 2. And I saw Creed 2, parts of it again. I gotta say, man, I want to rank Creed 2 and Creed 1 among all these Rocky movies. Oh, cool, man! You can't wait to see the second one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I did it the way I did, where I saw Creed 1 and then I like just basically hours later saw Creed 2. Um, Stuck with me. Now they're both going to be on. I mean, I'm sure the other one's on home media now. It's going to be quite exciting to watch them back to back again. Back to back. Creed 3 eventually, hopefully. They haven't announced it yet. It's making me a little nervous, but because it did drop at the box office a little bit more than I thought it would, but I think it exceeded what the first one made. But still, they haven't announced it. And Michael B. Jordan, they've announced for like three other movies, including one that Denzel Washington's going to be directing him in, which is like a Iraq War movie. So I'm getting a little worried. But hey, uh, I got something on this over 3 hours of bonus features. This was all the other ones were certain amounts of money. This one is 5 or 6 DVDs. There you go. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3. And is this Blu-ray? Let me see if this is Blu-ray. Yeah, this is Blu-ray. So Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that says Rocky Balboa. If Rocky Balboa is not part of it, I'll be it. Yeah, it is. It is. Huh. So Rocky 5 was rated PG-13. All the other ones were rated PG. Uh, Hey, Mr. Chase, aren't you excited to be seeing Dolph Lundgren and more stuff now? And I'm sure he'll probably be in Aquaman 2. And for him to be in Creed 2 and possibly maybe Creed 3. Probably not, but you never know. Obviously, he got back in those, or he's in the Expendables. At Best Buy, I can get all the Expendables movies for $3 or $4. Uh, Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments or in general. Do you think I should buy that for $4 at Best Buy? Expendables 1, 2, and 3. I didn't really like part one. I felt I may not even stayed for the whole thing. In fact, I felt like it was alright, but I just had other places to go. In fact, I remember that very clearly. It was like within a week or two of when Salt came out, and I found Salt to be so horrible. I don't know. I really did not enjoy Salt, and I've seen it in recent other viewings. I find it to be all right, but I had too much of a high expectation on Salt, and also on Expendables as well. And I had just moved into this pretty dank, place I was living at, so I just wanted to go home and you know watch movies. That's what I find when I'm at the theaters nowadays. Let's just talk a little bit more about the theatrical experience sometimes. Do you find yourself like sometime being like an hour into a movie in a theater, being like, yeah, this is fun and everything. Like this is fun and everything, but I'd rather get out of here. Like that happens to me a lot. I don't care about the money. I'll just straight up leave. I mean, I'm not really a fan of Dolph Lundgren, says Mr. Chase. I don't like his acting, but I do like him in roles that aren't full of action. I liked him in Aquaman. That's cool. I haven't seen him in more too many dramas or anything like that. There's one I think you might like. It was filmed in Houston. It's called I Come in Peace, or it's known as Dark Angel, I believe, in Europe. And that one I think is pretty cool because it's basically a bit about flying uh, alien discs that are trying to. These people, these aliens, are controlling these alien discs that are flying around, and they're trying to inject people with some kind of drug. Because once they inject this drug, it makes so where it combines with the blood in the human to make another kind of drug that they can take back to their planet and then go sell. No, it's crazy. It's seriously a crazy movie. And it has the guy from Dream On in it, a man named Brian Benben. He's the husband of Madeline Stowe. And who else is in that? Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, very very good movie. Craig Baxley directed it. He did a lot of the stunts in these, classic '80s action movies. So I can see what you mean about Dolph Lundgren, though. He's just more of a presence, and I thought he did a really good job with that presence in Aquaman. Never seen him play such a calm character like that, just kind of chilling underwater, trying to make sure that his kingdom is taken care of. I Come in Peace was an all right movie. I didn't mind. Yeah, one of his more grounded performances. Yeah, I like that premise. Kind of funny to describe it, even. So anyway, yeah, I don't know about that Mission Impossible thing, but I'm gonna try to open this DVD, this thing, because it's got some cool shit in it. Um, yeah, but so I had Rocky two. Oh, whoops, sorry. I had Rocky 2 and 3 on VHS growing up. So, hey, calm down now. So I've never had a whole Rocky collection. Something else I wanted to discuss is some of the Clint Eastwood movies. Because now, oh, sorry about this dog. There we go. Now I got on Blu-ray all the Rocky movies and all of the Dirty Harry movies. So if you guys watch this movie later, let me know. Where do you at on the series of movies? Which do you think are better? They both kind of limp to the finish with the later ones. Rocky Balboa notwithstanding, Rocky 5 comes back with Rocky Balboa, which is better than Rocky 5. But Deadpool, the Deadpool, the 1988 Clint Eastwood movie, the final one, I don't think it's hard to argue that it's not the best of the series. So, I love the Dirty Harry movies, though. I actually often feel like just watching all 5 of them straight through. I don't often have time to sit down and do that. So I find that part 2 and part 5, part 2 and part 4 and part 1 are the best for repeated viewing. And that Dirty Harry actually has so much going on in it that it's sometimes fun to just check out part 2, which is pretty straightforward, kick-ass story. And part 4. Have to go back and watch them because it's been years since I've watched them. Yeah, it's a trip, man. If you like really analyze each one, you get to see how many action movies. I mean, like the Fast and the Furious, all of them are getting ripped off left and right by these Dirty Harry movies, and a lot of scenes. I think. I mean, I really, really like Magnum Force, but I like Sudden Impact. Not only as one of my best Dirty Harry movies, but one of my favorite movies ever made. And I think it's a shame when people are discussing Clint Eastwood's great career and they don't mention that that's like one of the best movies that he's directed, because he's in it less than any Dirty Harry movie. It's more about it's a pretty dark subject matter, but she's a vigilante, um, but one that he can't make the enemy out of. She's actually a vigilante that's really what a vigilante should be. Whereas the vigilantes in part 2 are cop vigilantes, a police magnum force squad out to kill the criminals. justifiable in some ways, but not justifiable in their means, in the actual ways that they do it. This woman, part four, is a very specific kind of victim, a very specific kind of victim that is very specifically inclined to seek revenge against these very specific aggressors. So in that way, I find the movie to be like the kryptonite to Dirty Harry. Like there's no way he could possibly motivate to be the crazy character that he is against as he's piecing it together, seeing that the lady in part four, um, is the one doing the killing. So I would say four is not only like the best Dirty Harry movie, but it's one of the best movies ever made. It very, very. Yeah, I mean, for especially all this like Me Too talk all these days, it's pretty interesting concept. Part two is the best Dirty Harry movie, I guess, because even though it's probably not as good of a movie like overall as part four, it is so awesome. I mean, it's such a cool idea about these cops just going crazy and killing all the criminals, and like that no one could prove that it's the cops at that time period, in that era. And you get to thinking about like if that kind of stuff was going on. And the head of the you know Magnum Force is Hal Holbrook. A guy named David Soul, who I think was in going to be on some TV show, maybe like Starsky and Hutch or something. Robert Urich, famous actor from the 70s and 80s, really underrated. He was in it. It's a fantastic movie. Uh, yeah, dated in some ways, but I don't care if these ones are dated. Oh, the Dirty Harry versus Death Wish. Well, I love Charles Bronson, but not a huge fan of the series of Death Wish as much as Dirty Harry. I think Dirty Harry, um, I like a lot better, but I don't dislike the Death Wish ones. Um, the ones that Charles Bronson are in that are similar to Death Wish movies, that I like those a little bit more, like Murphy's Law, Assassination, Mr. Majestic. Mr. Majestic's literally about a watermelon farmer that's trying to protect his crop, and then this guy gets out of jail. It's a trip, it's instead of him getting upset that his wife and daughter are attacked, is that his watermelon crop's attacked. So it's pretty strange. Elmore Leonard written action movie with him. I like the Death Wish movies. I should get that on a. Now that I trust Amazon again, I should just buy all the Death Wish. I also like him in Kinjite Forbidden Subject. I don't think that anyone really likes that movie too much except for me. But what other ones from those 80s that I like that he was in? Murphy's Law. Can't wait to get that. It's $25 as the DVD right now. I've interviewed the lady from that. Name escaping me right now. Kathleen Wilhoit. She's also in Roadhouse and Nurse Betty. A lot of other films as well. Let's take a look at this set. What this Rocky set includes, because it had it all set up when I was looking online. So hold on, I want to tear it. They got like these. Sorry. They got these things here. I don't even know what you would call them. Pieces of paper. pieces pieces of something. Italian Stallion. One of the characters from the movie talking. The King of Sting. It's Apollo Creed. Wow, this is kind of cool. Mr. T's character, Clubber Lang. But again, they're just paper. I don't know. Speaking of Dolph Lundgren, boom. I wonder if Hulk Hogan didn't give his permission to put himself on a placard or whatever these are called. And then you got another one of Rocky, more typical. Like I guess that would be the Rocky from Rocky 1. Kind of looks like Is that De Niro in that photo? It's Stallone, but it's a very strange photo of him. So when you click on Amazon, it's all set up that each one of these are a little bit more than a piece of paper. But anyway, they are literally just paper, which is nice. And my 6-disc set. So I now have Rambo 2. I believe I have Rambo 2, but I don't know if I've had all the other Rambos. Oh, I'm really impressed with my purchases. They took a long time to get here. What's the longest you've ever had to wait for a delivery from Amazon? I think I had to wait a total of 6 days with this, which, in a large scheme of things, really isn't too long. But it occupied a lot of my time and my energy. I'll tell you that much. Being on Amazon, figuring out why the delivery hadn't arrived, all the emotion involved. I literally was like wondering if I was doing the wrong thing by buying something. But now that everything has arrived, I am quite confident that I made the correct purchases. That being said, I've been on here for about 52 minutes. I'd like to talk about Steven Seagal. He's getting a lot of hard time. Mr. Chase, you watch the Rambo Raph channel? Rambo Raph, RAMBORAPH. He's done a Steven Seagal-a-thon before. So he's literally seen every Steven Seagal movie and reviewed them. So Rambo Raph. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with his channel. I mean, can you imagine watching every Steven Seagal movie? I've watched. He's one of your favorite YouTubers. Me too. That's really cool. So yeah, he's doing a Dolph Lundgren-a-thon right now. So that's pretty intense, actually, because Dolph's been in some really bad movies. He's done a Van Damme-a-thon. I could do a Seagal-a-thon. I have a lot, but I need to find some of the ones I don't have, or that I haven't seen. Obviously the bad ones. But I really like this one, Fire Down Below. And this was one of his financial flops. I think this might have been one of his last theatrical releases. I find this movie to be great, charming. Would love to put it on any time, actually, like that kind of movie. I don't know what made me think about that, but of all the 4 on this, that's the one I'd like to watch the most. I mean, The Glimmer Man. Yeah, Stephen Tobolowsky's in that. That was part of the interview I did with him. We talked about the making of that. So, yeah. So, what are we guys all looking forward to? I guess Captain Marvel's getting some good. No one can put their reviews online, but they're putting their Twitter reactions, which I don't get the difference between all that. I mean, with Twitter nowadays, you can go maybe 200 characters or something like that. So that basically is a review. You're looking at some of these people they're putting out. I think what they're putting out is overly positive stuff because they want to get in Disney's good graces. So we'll look for the more negative reviews for the people that actually go to the screening like 2 days beforehand. That's usually how that works. I don't know. I mean, Mr. Chase out there, are you interested in the Elton John story, the Elton John movie? I think it's called Rocket Man, the Elton John story, and it's got the boy from Kingsman in it. He's a lot older now, of course, and he's going to be playing Elton John. Now, what I'm unclear about is he going to be playing Elton John in later days, up to the 90s, 2000s, like the Oscar parties. Yeah, so he's going to give it a try. I'm confused, though, because it seems like it's kind of like it's a biopic, but then also there's like this whimsical fantasy angle to it. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. I don't think this is taking up any memory on my end, so I'm gonna when I click close, I hope it just uploads properly to the what do you call it, the internet, whatever. A guy passed away last week. I'm surprised there hasn't been more reaction to his passing. Um, like it's one of my favorite actors, Albert Finney. Now, Albert Finney wasn't in any real big comic book or any movie like that, so most people probably don't know who he is these days. But he was in Annie. He played the grandfather or Daddy Warbucks in Annie, and he played in all sorts of movies. And a big one in the '60s, I think, called Tom Jones or something like that. That won Best Picture. So it's a sad day. Sad days. Albert Finney has passed away. I believe he was in his 80s. So it's too bad though. I mean, he's an incredible actor, and Ridley Scott wrote some very nice things about him. Uh, because Ridley Scott's first movie he made actually before Alien was called The Duelists. It's a western that starred um, Albert Finney, as far as I know, and Harvey Keitel. Quite a strange cast that is. So Shazam comes out in a couple weeks. Now I think Shazam comes out either 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after Captain Marvel. Not exactly sure. I work in the movie industry and I don't even know. Uh, but that being said, I don't think there's much buzz for Shazam. Shazam. So I'm wondering where that's going. I'm wondering what's going on next, and if there's going to be any scene that connects Aquaman to Shazam, because they haven't said that. I'm interested. I think there's some mention of Superman in Shazam, but I don't even know which Superman they're going to mention. You know, maybe they're going to show Henry Cavill, or are they going to show what are they going to show? You know, so that's what I'm interested to see. Uh, yeah, I'm interested to see them both. I'm not going to understand everything going on in Captain Marvel though. I mean, I'm just not. I have to see every Marvel movie and then remember every detail of every Marvel movie. So that would be quite difficult to do. I'm not the sharpest tool in the world, and I've only seen Hulk, the Edward Norton Hulk. I've seen Iron Man 1. I've seen Iron Man 2. I've seen Captain America 1. I've seen Captain America 2. I've seen Thor 1. I've not seen Thor 2. I've not seen Thor 3. I've not seen all the other ones I didn't mention. I've not seen Black Panther yet, which is crazy, but I need to see that. I've not seen Avengers 1. I've not seen Avengers 2. I heard that Thor 3 is really good. I sadly have not seen Captain America 3. So, yeah, I'll probably go see Captain Marvel. So, Narek saying he didn't like Black Panther. That's interesting. Yeah, I just did wanted to see it on the big screen. I really did. But that's fine. I won't see it on the big screen. I went to Redbox the other day to get it, and I don't know, the Redbox wasn't working or something. It was quite odd. It just seems like it hasn't worked out for me to see that yet. I've heard a lot of mixed things on Black Panther, so I haven't seen Doctor Strange. That appealed to me, and I didn't see it. So I think I will see Captain Marvel. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson's movie that she was in called Room. Room. Really, really, really good movie. Yeah, Avengers, I wanted to watch the whole thing straight through, but never have. I don't know. It's always been something else keeps coming up. I really enjoyed the ones you just mentioned, Captain America 1 and 2. Um, yeah, and I would think that oh, cool, you bought the broom in the book. Yeah, okay, well, that lady that wrote that, she's so cool. I stayed in touch with her on email. I went to go see her. Her name's Emma Donahue, and she's trying to write. Um, she may end up writing a Marvel movie. I don't know. She met with them, so she's a hell of a writer. She's got a new movie that she's working on, and I'm really impressed with. Was really impressed with Brie Larson's performance and that boy. I feel bad that boy was in What are you gonna make? That Predator movie looked horrible. Just looked horrible. I don't even see that Predator movie yet. Um, they're gonna announce something with the Candyman movie. They're gonna announce. They're gonna reveal. Do some kind of reveal regarding the Candyman movie. I just got news regarding that. That's gonna be before June, so we can look forward to that. Horror movie wise. Predator was all right, but it could have been leagues better. I didn't even see. I didn't even see. God, who made that one? That was with Robert. Um, the 2010 one. It had Robert Rodriguez directing it with Topher Grace. I didn't watch that one. Adrian Brody. I want to watch this new Predator one. Yeah, there you go, Predators. Thank you. Yeah, I want to watch probably this new Predator one more than that Robert Rodriguez one. I like Robert Rodriguez where he does his movies like Once Upon a Time in Mexico and Desperado, but when he does other movies, I don't know if I like them as much. And it's got to be real. I think Once Upon a Time in Mexico is a really good movie, and I think Desperado is a really good movie. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen all of Alita yet, but I don't know. Got to figure out what. I mean, the Spy Kids movies were strange too. I mean, I liked maybe the first one or so, but they went on so much, and he made so many of those damn movies. He made so many of those damn children's movies, and so many of this, and so many of that, and he made Sin City, and I don't know. I do like Robert Rodriguez though, so I should check that one out. Now, Predator, we were talking about that. Would you be interested in seeing more from this particular incarnation of the Predator? They did have terrible CGI. But Carla Gugino, what a tremendous actress she is. Good, um, good in that, and also Snake Eyes and several other movies. Oh, we were talking about horror. Okay, so yeah, Victor Miller, who is the one that kind of held up the progress of the Friday the 13th game. He's telling me via email that all these reports about that he and Sean Cunningham are going to drop their dispute and accept a Jason Blum or Universal deal to buy the rights to Friday the 13th is fake. That's like not a real story. So that's a story I've heard out in the news in the last couple of weeks, and I find that to be uncredible or not credible based on what I'm hearing. I'd like to be. Hopefully, a better writer will be employed to write the next. Yeah, that's what's so weird is the Shane Black made that Predator one, the last one. There's some real potential with the Predator 2. Just kind of rebooting the ideas of Predator 2, man. I really love Predator 2. Predator 2 is my favorite of the series. I have some really good DVDs of Predator 2. And that's one of the ones that Rambo Raff and all these people have recommended that I'd never really even seen. Because Predator 2 had some of the worst luck. It came out, gosh, right around Rocky 5 and also Home Alone. A very strange time period where I think Fox kind of ended up abandoning its publicity. Yeah, Predator 2 is your favorite, followed by the first one. I'm not a huge fan of the first one. I like it pretty much. I really like Commando more, just from that era. Huge Running Man fan. I have a really good DVD of that one over here. And you know what I thought was interesting is the director of Running Man was first, um, geez, Andrew Davis, and he was fired early on. I believe Rob Cohen was fired early on, or Rob Cohen was going to take over. Can't remember the two. But the guy that ended up directing it, Paul Michael Glazer, I believe he was the other guy on Starsky and Hutch. And then he ended up directing Kazam, which was the Shaquille O'Neal movie. And I'm a huge fan of Shaquille O'Neal's movies. I really am. I'm like not joking around. I really like Steel quite a lot, and I really like Kazam. I saw them in theaters and I enjoyed them.
So, guys, seriously, I'm not joking around at all about that. So, Paul Michael Glazer, I don't know why they decided to call him, but I guess since he made a failed Genie movie, this article writer at USA Today called him and also called a friend of mine who works at Collider. And anyway, basically, they asked Paul Michael Glazer, the director of Running Man and Kazam, if he'd seen the new Genie played by Will Smith in the trailer and what his. Yeah, I did know that. It's based on a Stephen King novel, but it's really changed. I don't know all the stuff that got changed, but it's one of the ones where he doesn't really even sign off as it being one of his that's based on his. Yeah, so it is, and it's, I mean, it completely is based on a novel by him, but like I guess it made so many changes that he don't even like consider it. But he's so strange, Stephen King. I mean, he's so been blessed to have these great stories come through him. He even acknowledges it. He doesn't even know where they come from. So I think that the book as he wrote it, it would be a really interesting. Like I'd like to see the Running Man as he wrote it for real. It's a completely different story. Some things are the same, but I would love to see, like, because it's a darker, less ironic TV media angle in it. I love Running Man though, and I have the commentary on it. Just could talk about Running Man forever. It's one of those movies that I couldn't really see. Uh, I was like 6 years old, so then I watched it maybe when I was like 7 or 8, and I loved it. Um, so anyway, yeah, they asked Paul Michael Glazer what he thinks about the Genie, and he had a lot to say. He was like super critical, you know. So it's like even this failed director who failed and made Kazam, which I happen to love, but like who everyone hates Kazam, they think that he's even taking shots and saying like, I can't believe they're making Aladdin this way. I can't this, that, and the other. So anyway, I had always wanted to see up. Yeah, man, I'm glad you like it too. You grew up watching Running Man. Um, you seen that Genie with what they're doing with Will Smith? Um, yeah, I saw Aladdin. It's probably my favorite of all those. I was for years being like, oh, why haven't they made an Aladdin movie yet? Why haven't they announced it yet? Why are they doing this? Why don't they? Why are they scared to make Aladdin? Why are they going to do this? Why aren't they gonna? And now they're making it. I'm glad you don't mind it. I don't really mind it. I just think it looked so strange. Like it looked like a penciled on drawing. I don't know. That's what's so crazy is the Jungle Book CGI looked great, but I was thinking because those are real creatures, and when you computer generate a real creature, you'd be like, oh wow, that's looks cool. But when you computer generate something that's already not real, like we have no concept of what a genie should look like, except how the cartoon looked, then I don't know what's gonna happen with this. I feel that the Jafar, they're trying to be too politically correct, and with the way Jafar looks, you don't want to have him be ethnically stereotyped by his looks, but you do in a way too. He is a villain. You want to be scared of Jafar. You want to have the twisty mustache. You want to have the whatever how you describe Jafar looks in the cartoon, and then the guy that they have playing him in the trailer, you put it face to face, it doesn't. You'd be like, oh, is that supposed to be that guy? The Aladdin don't really do nothing for me. The Jasmine's wearing the wrong colors, but I guess she wears whatever color she wants. Guy Ritchie, I mean, you just go through his track record of movies. It's like I know everyone liked the Sherlock Holmes. I'm not gonna say either way; it wasn't bad. But the Sherlock Holmes Part Two didn't do as good. Um, the King Arthur movie was a complete flop, and Man from Uncle was a complete flop. But people, I guess, like them enough that he gets this one. I don't know. The jury's out. I would just look forward to seeing it. Um, Gosh, that comes out in May 24th. Then the week after that is the Elton John movie. So there's going to be a lot of movies to see this summer. I mean, this next couple weeks even. It has been a brutal couple weeks at the box office though, and going to the movies. I saw The Upside this year. Did you see The Upside? I highly think The Upside is underrated. I feel that The Upside had it been released in December would have gotten Oscar talk, which is ironic because he ended up getting, not with the Oscars and all that, Kevin Hart. But I loved it. Oh, okay, yeah, I love that movie. I think it's good. I liked it better than Green Book, and Green Book's the one that's getting all the Oscar attention. So we'll see about how these Oscars do and all that. I usually do watch them. Haven't watched them, but now I'll see if I'm going to or not. I don't have to work, so uh, that should be good. I could do a live stream during them. Um, but we'll see. Oh, I got 2 watchers, man. Hey, how out there? How are you out there? Thanks for coming by. We got my friend Mr. Chase from the Great Narek Chase channel on, and hopefully someone else out there. Hope you're having a good time. Uh, oh, I did want to bring this up on my live stream. I just think it's kind of interesting. There's like a big feud going on in the world of some of these internet channels. Okay, so Rambo Ralph's on the Sausage Factory, as I'm sure maybe you know, Mr. Chase. So I'm a huge fan of his, so that's good. Now, there's a guy that's on the Sausage Factory as well called Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous. So Cameron, that's actually how I heard about the Sausage Factory. I had become friends, or not friends. I started following OCP Communications work and also Rambo Rap, and didn't realize that the Sausage Factory existed yet until one time Cameron mentioned about OCP Communications and that there's the Sausage Factory that all these people, some of them I followed already were on this channel. So anyway, long story short, the Cameron guy started popping on there, and I was on some of Cameron's videos at one point talking about movie news. But anyway, oh, see you later, Mr. Chase. Anyway, Cameron started talking, and he's gonna make a movie. So he started making this fan film and raising money for it and all that. And he had this clownish kind of friend of his on the channel named James come up and pop on his Twin Peaks thought of the day discussion sometimes. So I'm just kind of tripping lately, man. They've been like really going at it, like fighting online lately. And I was wondering if anyone's got any information about that. So to anyone watching out there, can someone bring me up to speed with what's going on with Cameron and James and also the Twin Peaks fan community? Go ahead and post videos or post information down below in the comments. And Cameron, if you're watching this video, go ahead and tell us some information about what went on between you and James and the Twin Peaks fan community. I would love to know. I mean, seriously, it's one of the more long-winded debates I've ever gotten through. They have hours and hours of videos where they're just like taking these shots at each other, but they're not entertaining. They're entertaining in macro, but not in micro. So I'm trying not to spend 16 hours watching their videos. I'm trying to just find edited or condensed versions or people that can describe to me what exactly this whole thing's about. Because I find it to be rather odd. As a Twin Peaks fan, I wanted to see if this movie made. So I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. All I know is that this dude's Cameron, he's saying his wife went to the crazy bin and he's had to watch his son full time and he raised all this money, but did he really raise the money? Because I think I don't know. Something about it just doesn't add up. I don't know. But anyway, so thanks for checking out this. Why don't you post below what your favorite Brian De Palma movies are? And we can discuss about that on